The Volvo Environment Prize is meant as a stimulus to advancing the scientific knowledge within the broad field of environmental sciences.
It does bring, I think, into sharp reflection the idea that people can have an impact in their own lifetime on what are substantively important decisions that we're taking today. How we will live in the future, how we will manage the planet, and in the end, how we will potentially look after biodiversity.
We have recognized very important discoveries. By doing that, I think we also have had the politicians and also industrial leaders, etc., being interested in environmental issues.
The scientific part is handled by the scientific committee as well as the prize jury.
We have a screening panel that independently views the whole range of laureates in the past and compares them to, in effect, the pool of people we have in front of us.
Over these more than 20 years, of course, the whole field and the focus of the field has changed.
Sometimes it's about economics, about ecosystems, about the dynamics of a particular part, even talking about the role of the oceans in climate change.
We have winners of the Volvo Environment Prize that later on got the Nobel Prize.
We are proud of that, and we are proud of having contributed to making the environmental field as visible as it deserves.
And that's the difference with this prize. It really speaks to the future generations about how we think we need to proceed, what kinds of messages we need to listen to, and sometimes what do we need to do about them.
His research has had an influence on politicians and on the general public. And that's why we also like that. He's a good communicator.
He brings together a different perspective when it comes to thinking about climate change, one which is both based in the true science of physics, his background, but put into the context of policy making.
He's an outstanding scientist which has really sort of shown that you can go from one field to another field and benefit from your first field in your new field.
I was very smart in solving mathematical problems already at the age of 7, 8 and so on. Later on I became interested fairly soon, I think at the age of 12 or something, already in physics. So I started to read things about Albert Einstein, for example. I went to an institute for theoretical physics in the University of California in Santa Barbara, where I was one of 80 people, among them at least 5 Nobel laureates in physics. These were the days when what was later called chaos science, nonlinear dynamics, we call it complex systems theory, became fashionable. It was really the beginning of it, and I had the chance to participate in some pioneering work. That actually set the course for my interest in dealing with environmental systems, because if you look around, what are the most complicated systems in reality? Human beings on the one hand, and the second thing is nature, really. If you try to understand how a cloud is formed, how a river flows. I think my innovation really was, or simply my fairly courageous move at that time, was to apply the systems analysis to the entire planet. If we look at the Earth from outer space, for example, it's like looking at a human body from a distance. Shouldn't we try to understand the body of the Earth, the organisms, the vital organs, the pressure systems, the blood pressure, the circulation and everything? So let's apply systems analysis to the Earth system, which brings you to Earth system analysis.
He's moved into utilizing his knowledge in complex systems and utilized the theoretical models from physics into establishing basically a whole new field, Earth system sciences.
He has been analyzing a very complex situation, systems that are not easy to understand.
He is one of the great personalities combining scientific knowledge, very well based, really cutting-edge knowledge developed by himself.
I think he put together a package that was very believable, drawing on many different aspects of science, ecosystems, the way in which we'll live in the future, and also he really put the spectre of what could go wrong if we don't tackle climate change today.
Something incredible happened in 1989. When the wall came down, it was clear we will have a reunification, but it also means a reunification of the scientific communities here. If there is a place, I was a young professor then in physics in the western part of Germany, and I said, if I want to move now, because I built a very nice group, I was a fairly young professor, then I will want to be here, where Albert Einstein worked, where we have these fantastic buildings. And I want to contribute to build and to rebuild this place. And if I can do it about an issue which is most important for the 21st century, what else can I wish for? Huh? So I have invested a good deal of my life into building this place, but the reward is beyond any expectation.
There are only some people around the world who have this gifted position to make result of science a very clear topic on the political agenda. John Schellnhuber is one of those rare species.
If you do climate change research, although you are completely driven by curiosity in the beginning, you may find out things which you need to tell first to your colleagues, to your family, to your neighbors, ultimately to society at large, including the politicians. You develop, whether you like it or not, responsibility. Because I cannot be silent if I know that if we go far beyond 2 degrees centigrade warming, we will wreak havoc in many regions of the world. I have to speak out about it.
He's been very courageous and very brave at some times, stepping out of the very tight world of physics and mathematics and making pronouncements in some cases that sounded completely way out. To say that we couldn't live on a planet that was 4 degrees warmer than today truly, I think, challenged many people.
There is a lot of hope around because we have in principle the solution for the climate problem and many other problems, because we are interfering with the planet in a historically unprecedented way today, that's true, but also we have unprecedented technical, economic, social innovations and potential. We can have 10 billion people on this planet living a life in dignity, but we need to tap our innovation and innovative potentials, definitely. So I think this is actually something where Europe, good old Europe, could play a very important pioneering role again. No? But when it comes to inventing new role models, after we invented the black industrial revolution built on coal, why shouldn't Europe now pioneer and spearhead the green revolution?